We're using gaming, we're using technology, and so I'm trying to.
I'm sorry.
To lay out how
we get it here.
And then
How are you? Good to meet you too. Oh, wait, let's do it again. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. It's very cute. Microfinance as well. All of those things.
Are producing solutions, and for that we commend you. For this reason, I'm incredibly proud to share that the UK is going to provide £8 million for a Skills for Prosperity programme working with the South African government and other partners. Yes! It's always an easy one, I guess. This programme is going to maximise African ingenuity with UK support to fill the gap between skills that employers urgently need and the training offered to employees. In my role as the Queen's Commonwealth Youth Ambassador, I am so incredibly fortunate to meet young people who are determined to make a real difference and make their mark on the world through action. Meeting people like you makes me realise that the world is in good hands. We're going to see your President this afternoon as well, and we will tell him what we have seen and heard. And it is so great to see South Africa and the UK relationship so strong. I've often talked about Africa as my second home, and I've often been asked why I love it so much. Well, Over the last 9 days, I've been trying to put my feelings and experiences into words, which is not easy. I wanted to try and answer a more specific question for myself. What is the essence of Africa? Why is it that so many visitors feel Africa gets under our skin and into our soul? Last night I returned from my third visit to the fourth poorest country in the world, Malawi. Despite extreme hardship and ongoing challenges on so many levels, people are generous. They are strong, humble, and incredibly optimistic. I know that there are daily struggles that most of us couldn't begin to imagine. Yet I've seen strength, resilience, and a sense of hope and empathy that I can only aspire to replicate. Ever since I came to this country as a young boy, trying to cope with something I could never possibly describe, Africa has held me in an embrace that I will never forget, and I feel incredibly fortunate for that. And every time I come here, I know that I'm not alone. I always feel, wherever I am on this continent, that the community around me provides a life that is enriching and is rooted in the simplest things: connections with others, and the natural environment. And as I raise my own son, I want to make sure that what I've learned here, the value of the natural world, the value of community and friendship, is something that I can pass on to him. Next year, we launch our new foundation, and it's moments like today and meeting all of you that inspire us. Whether supporting young entrepreneurs, empowering women and girls, or challenging the issue of gender-based violence, whether it's been planting trees, clearing landmines, or protecting the most beautiful creatures and places on this planet, these experiences have affirmed our love of Africa and the issues that are so important to us. We will firmly stand up for what we believe. We are fortunate enough to have a position that gives us amazing opportunities, and we will do everything that we can to play our part in building a better world. We will always seek to challenge injustice and to speak out for those who may feel unheard. So no matter your background, your nationality, your age or gender, your sexuality, your physical ability, no matter your circumstance or colour of your skin, we believe in you. And we intend to spend our entire lives making sure that you have the opportunity to succeed and change the world. Thank you. And now my wife is going to speak without notes.
There's not much I can add to that outside of saying on our last day here in South Africa, thank you all so much. As my husband said so eloquently, you really have been such an inspiration for us. And being here today, from every level of what we've seen, there's such a holistic approach to how you have energized and mobilized each other to be part of a bigger change. And on a personal note, seeing the work that's being done at Blossom is incredible. I had worked with an organization very similar several years ago in India called Minna Mahila, and being able to see you are creating the product that is needed within the community, you'd be able to become the provider for everything about the economy and what you need as opposed to getting it externally. You are feeding yourselves through that work, and on top of which, being able to enable these women to have the power to then own the company is amazing. But that's what's amazing, and that's what's needed, because there's so much talent here, there's so much ingenuity here, and there's so much promise here. So if given the level of support and the resources that you need, the potential is astronomical, and you can see that there. And I think for you women, I'm so proud of you in the business that you're creating, and also being able to now control your own purse strings, because when you have that level of independence, my goodness, you can do anything. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to meet with all of you, to be able to feel inspired, and for welcoming us so warmly, strongly, beautifully into your country. We've loved it. Thank you.
If I can close with a final thank you, that you made South Africa your first family destination, and that you made yes your last visit. Thanks for bringing attention to places where it matters most. Speak well of us, and safe travels. Can we give them a big thank you for coming here and a big send-off?
Commissioner for Africa, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this stunning place for our inspiring climax of this Southern African tour by their Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I realise I'm unlikely to have been the principal draw card for you today. So in a moment it will be my privilege to invite our very special guests of honour to say a few words. But before I do that, I want to thank some key people who have made today possible and provide some brief context to this afternoon's event. Firstly, my thanks to the awesome musical artists Majosi and Grassroots for entertaining us this afternoon. Thank you also to our sponsors, the fabulous Virgin Atlantic team, for their energetic embracing of creativity. Our friends at Diageo for keeping us refreshed. Jaguar Land Rover for transporting us in your beautiful vehicles. Our investment partner, Investec. Vicky Crease, Lynn Contino and Stefan Novel and their teams for turning ideas into memories. And of course Nando's for showcasing some of their extraordinary and beautiful South African designers across the garden. I wish I could keep them all. So as Her Majesty's Trade Commissioner for Africa, I'm charged with increasing trade and investment between the UK and this continent. South Africa is our largest and most valuable trading partner in Africa and the destination of the greatest portion of UK investment, placing the UK as the largest foreign investor in South Africa. We also have a good flow of South African investment into the UK, so I'm pleased to see a number of these British and South African companies represented here today. We understand the important role that investment can play in creating and sustaining jobs and helping companies to grow. And because of the positive impact of investment, the UK is working towards being the largest G7 investor right across the continent, not just here in South Africa. And it is with this aim in mind that the UK will host African heads of state and business leaders, along with UK investors, in London this coming January for our Africa Investment Summit. For me, investment goes far beyond capital flows and statistics. It's about helping people to realise their potential, including all the scholarships, partnerships, community and leadership initiatives and friendships that exist between our countries. Today's event showcases just some of the breadth of our modern partnership with South Africa and the beauty and style of South African designers and artists. I hope it instills in all of us a sense of the vibrancy, creativity and entrepreneurship that will underpin South Africa's success, as well as support our growing trade and investment links. From the multi-million-pound investment by Ian Warhurst to make Bloodhound a reality, drawing on the best of British design, engineering and research in building the fastest car on land that will race in the salt pans of South Africa's Northern Cape. To all the passionate entrepreneurs innovating local and global solutions to the world's problems, such as Neo Hutiri, winner of the Royal Academy of Engineering's Africa Prize for his Pellibox smart locker that reduces the time patients have to wait for their medication in Africa from an average of 3 hours to less than 2 minutes. And to energetic organisations like Lionesses of Africa, inspiring and connecting a network of 1 million female entrepreneurs across the continent, including some 50,000 here in South Africa. Thank you all for your drive and inspiration, your partnership and your friendship. And on that note, without further ado, let me invite His Royal Highness the Duke of Sussex to say a few words.
Thank you very much, guys, and good afternoon. Thank you for the warm welcome. This is one of those garden parties that really kicks off once we've left. So the people are laughing because that's exactly your plan. Although I spent a great deal of time here over the years, this visit in particular has filled us with hope and optimism. This morning we were among young social entrepreneurs in Tembisa, and it is testament to what investment, technology and the right support can really do to transform lives and communities. These young people weren't in it just for themselves. Each and every one of them was using the opportunity they'd been given and the skills that they've learned to give back and support more people within their own community. It is also a perfect example of what we want the UK-Africa partnership to be about. Youth, culture, innovation, high-tech business, investment in fast-changing economies. All of you here today have a part in supporting a young and dynamic African economy, and I hope that you will use your links to the UK to help you do that. Across the countries I've visited, and I think I've chalked out 5 in 9 days, I'm feeling it. I've heard the same story, and it's one of increasing stability, growth, innovation, and hope. But harnessing this potential needs the creativity and innovation on show here today. It needs business, it needs investment. It needs partners working across borders and across communities. This is why we are concluding our visit here in Johannesburg, one of the continent's most vibrant and dynamic cities. Looking around this garden and in this tent, we have people here that are at the forefront of the UK and Africa business and investment partnerships. A relationship in trade that totaled £10 billion last year. And we can do more together. Our companies should be leading the way in investing the billions that will drive growth across the whole region. When Africa prospers, the world prospers. The Africa Investment Summit that, as already mentioned, we will be hosting in London next year will be a fantastic opportunity to showcase the potential here to the world. This is truly a continent of opportunity. I want to thank you again for the warm reception here today and everywhere that myself and my family have been. As I said to the young entrepreneurs this morning, Africa will always have a special place for me and my family, and I can't wait to return. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for yet another wonderful welcome. I can't believe it's almost time to say goodbye to this country. From the moment we arrived, we were greeted by the rhythm and the energy of the Imbokodo girls in Nyanga, and I knew that this trip was going to be something incredibly special. So let me just begin by saying thank you to all the people that we've met on behalf of both of us, and of course, Archie. We are so grateful. This trip has meant so much to us, as I said, as a family, but also to me personally. As you know, reading about the death of Inene and hearing about the protests weighed very heavily on my mind. Gender-based violence is a harrowing reality for many women around the world. And for some, like the beautiful and talented Inene, this violence has taken women from us who had a life full of hope and dreams ahead of them. Yet, if there is any possible hope in this situation, there is some sliver of light. It is that people are paying attention like never before. The recent crisis has sparked a much-needed conversation in South Africa, and the world is listening. I met a group of young girls yesterday who wanted to talk to me about their experience, some of which was harrowing. Yet despite everything that they had been through, they said the saddest thing was to watch the continued degradation of women, and that they wanted to be part of a movement where both women and men play a role in turning that around. As someone who's been a longtime advocate of women's and girls' rights, I worried about what was happening, and my intention for this tour was to meet with women across South Africa to listen and to learn. So from students to politicians, from apartheid campaigners from the 1950s to teenagers on a beach, from the mothers with HIV providing health care to their community, and to the entrepreneurs who were driving the businesses of the future. They all showed me a power and a solidarity that in this moment, in this time, all women and all people can take strength and inspiration from. Because these amazing African women have discovered self-belief and found their worth. In our visit earlier this morning, I was struck by a small sign that was posted on the wall for the female entrepreneurs. And it said, "Visualize your highest self and show up as her." This is the spirit of the women and girls I have met on this trip. They are not defining themselves by how they compare to others or making their success and marking it against historical expectations. They are simply paving their own path. They have their own voice, and they are being listened to. And as I've said before, I firmly believe that all women have a voice. They just need to feel empowered to use it, and people need to feel encouraged to listen. There's a role for all of us here. As women, we can listen to one another and lift each other up. We can raise our boys to be men who value women. And for men and boys, you can lead by example and not let your mothers, your daughters, your sisters, wives, or girlfriends ever feel that they are lesser than you. I remember being a young girl watching TV and seeing what was happening in the world, and frankly often feeling despair. Because when you continue and constantly see and hear negativity, it can be overwhelming. You can feel powerless and lost. You can feel different, confused, or like you don't belong. And I'm sure that there is a young girl or boy watching this and maybe thinking the exact same thing. So this is for you. In a world that can seem so aggressive, confrontational, and dangerous, you should know that you have the power to change it. Because whether you're here in South Africa, at home in the UK or the US, or around the world, you actually have the power within you to change things, and that begins with how you connect to others. I have learned from the people I've met here that whether it's about society's expectations of masculinity or femininity, or how we divide ourselves by race or faith or class or status, everyone has value, and everyone deserves to be heard and respected. And if you live your life in that way, your generation will start to value each other in ways the rest of us have not yet been able to do so. Over the past 10 days, our family has had emotional moments, we've had poignant moments, we've had spiritual moments, we've met inspirational leaders in every walk of life, and we've been treated to incredible food, music, and dancing. But above all, we've been able to meet the people that are the rocks behind the sort of work that really means so much to us. It has been affirming to learn that we're not alone in the things that we believe in and the principles that we hold so dear. No matter how different our lives may seem, Africa, you have made us feel part of your community, of our shared community. And on our visit in a mosque in Bo-Cap, one of the women told us that the way we change the world is to honor the dignity of difference. And in this, we can find strength. When we can bridge divides and meet as human beings with different experiences, we can all find connection. And in that connection, we become more aware of one another, more aware of our place in the world. We find hope and self-worth. We can find optimism and courage. And ultimately, we can find joy. So whether for Harry, Archie, and me in South Africa, or for my husband as he was traveling through Botswana, Angola, and Malawi, please know that you have given us so much inspiration, so much hope, and above all, you have given us joy. Thank you.